Welcome back, everyone. A federal high court in Abuja has barred the Central Bank of Nigeria from disbursing further monthly allocations to the Rivers State government, citing alleged constitutional violations by Governor Sim Fubara. In her ruling on Wednesday, Justice Joyce Abdulmalik found that Governor Fubara's presentation of the 2024 budget to a four-member House of Assembly breached constitutional protocol. Justice Abdulmalik highlighted that since January, Rivers State has received and spent allocations based on an illegitimate budget, describing this as a constitutional aberration. The court order further restricts the CBN, the Accountants General of the Federation, and the state's accounts at Zenith Bank and Access Bank from releasing any funds to Governor Fubara. In a related development, judges of the federal and state high courts involved in conflicting rulings on political cases are rocking Rivers State and now officially being probed by a panel of the National Judiciary Council. Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, on Monday held a meeting with the panel in her office and gave a marching order that the probe report should be in this week. And according to the order, all judges involved in the multiple cases arising from the unending political crisis between Governor Fubara and his estranged godfather, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, have now been summoned by the probe panel. To help us make sense of this latest development is a lawyer and political affairs analyst, Tony Daniel. Mr. Daniel, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us on Politics Tonight. I mean, so many issues, legal and judicial matters to unwrap tonight, but let's take it one step after another.
Yes.
Justice Abdulmalik has said that the CBN has barred the CBN from disbursing further monthly allocations to the Rivers State government. What's your first reaction, timely or overbearing?
Very timely and highly commendable. That was a very bold and courageous judgment. And by my own assessment, it's a sound judgment. Okay. Yeah, and then the provision of the Constitution is there for any person to see. The last time I was here, I said, with due respect, His Excellency, Governor Fubara, is making progress in error at all ends and enriching my colleagues who are SAS. You know, it doesn't even make sense to a layman to present a budget to 4 persons. I think they're about 32. And then the Constitution is clear that they need 1/3 to hold a proceeding in the State House of Assembly. 1/3 of 32 is about 10, not less than 10. For you to even sit at all, the majority can take decision. And then to pass the appropriation bill, you need not less than 2/3. So now that means not less than 20 persons. So it doesn't make sense. And you see, I don't know, I feel ashamed that
your colleagues.
My colleagues, some are there going to defend the fact that you can pass a bill to 4 persons, 4 members of the State House.
Well, you just said Governor Fubara is reaching them, so.
Yes, but they have an Attorney General in that state. For God's sake, there are certain issues that you need to resolve politically. Otherwise, you continue to compound it.
Right. So the basis of that question I asked was to know if the Federal High Court is in a good place to give such ruling.
Yes, the Federal High Court has jurisdiction to hear that matter.
Right.
Because the parties and the subject matter are within Section 251 of the Constitution that gives jurisdiction to the Federal High Court. They are federal agency. Central Bank is federal agency. The Federal Allocation Committee, FAAC, is a federal agency. So, and then money must pass from that federal agency to the state. So what the Federal High Court have done is stop it, restrict the state, the federal agency from passing that fund. I have condemned the use of self-help in Rivers State. And then I was thinking that the governor will still use self-help to force the federal agency to send fund to them, to send this allocation to them. You know, when you continue to break the law, you continue to use self-help, it will be difficult for you to retract. Now, if the federal government decides to bring sanity to Rivers State, you see a lot of political insinuations and all that. Because the federal government cannot fold its hand and allow militants to continue to govern the state. Because you've been seeing a lot of militants saying, we are in charge, nobody should come here, they don't want police and all that in Rivers State.
So I'm also forced to ask, I mean, presenting a budget to a former member of the House of Assembly, screening commissioners who will serve in the state cabinet and also legislating over critical bills that would impact on the entire state. How much of a legislative rascality is that?
Well, that is the height of legislative rascality. Because even the 4 members ought to advise themselves that they can't do this.
I mean, they are politicians.
Yeah, but yes, but there are laws governing procedures and activities. The State House of Assembly is the legislative arm of the state. So they should do their business more serious than what we are saying. They should be able to be objective and detached. I don't want to go into the issue of some members declaring into another party or withdrawing and all that.
We would get there.
But what I'm saying is that there is a State House of Assembly in Rivers State. The issue of divisions among members is creating constitutional crisis. The solution is more political than legal. You cannot justify 4 members of the State House of Assembly passing the appropriation bill. You cannot. And I'm surprised that it took till ending of October 2024 for that issue to be addressed. I
was going to ask why you thought it took this long. But you would agree with me that Governor Fubara took a cue from some governors who had done this and gotten away with this. So my question to you is, how did we get here?
I can't remember any state passing appropriation bill with just 4 members of the House, of the State House of Assembly. I can't remember, So, but however, Governor Fubara wants to show his mentor that he can go solo, he can be independent, that he can take action. Even Governor Wike, now Minister for Aviation, said it sometime. I saw the video.
Minister of the Federal Capital Territory.
Now Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. That, look, this governor is more powerful than me. The governor of the state is more powerful than anybody. Agreed. But in the process of governance, there's a limit to which you can use self-help. Where were you when close to 28 or thereabout members of the State House left you? If you are in control of the state politically, how can that happen? Now, the local government election you conducted, you brought in a party, and that party won all the local government states. Whereas there was a subsisting order that, look, carry out certain steps before you conduct the election. The Constitution provides, and the Electoral Act provides that there must be registration of voters. Some persons, after the last registration of voters, some persons have come of age, some have left, relocated, and all that. So you must update the voters register 3 months, 90 days before the election. Do that before the election. That was the judgment of Justice Lifu while everybody was vilifying him. So now you have not done that. You went to conduct election and use self-help. That also is illegal. It might take time, but they will come to state.
Because the governor insisted that he had the voter register and was in the right place to go ahead with that election.
If there is a court order, even if you feel that order or judgment is wrong, you have to obey it. If you cannot obey, then file an appeal to a court that decided and the court that made the order.
But again, for the purpose of public enlightenment, I'd like you to speak to the legal and constitutional structuring and quorum of a State House of Assembly.
Yes, I'm here with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I will only refer to Section 96. The quorum of a House of Assembly shall be 1/3 of all the members of the House. The quorum, for you to sit at all, it must be 1/3. So if you sit with less than 10, you have not formed a quorum. And that sitting and the proceeding will be illegal. So the Attorney General of Rivers State ought to know this. My learned colleague Silks ought to also
didn't know this.
Ought to know this. The governor will listen to his Attorney General. The governor will listen to his lawyers. And the lawyers, I don't know, they are just collecting money from the state.
Well, I mean, if you heard what the judge said, she said this has been happening since January. And according to her, the governor's actions ignored constitutional requirement for budget approval by a fully constituted House of Assembly. The ruling also held that Fubara's action violates Section 91 and 96 of the 1999 Constitution, which you just read out, and warned that any continued bypassing of legislative processes constituted an affront to the rule of law. I mean, the judge contended that the governor's actions ignored constitutional requirement for budget approval by a fully constituted House of Assembly. My question is, how did you get to a point where a sitting governor ignores a court order and everyone looks away?
Well, so many Nigerians are afraid to say the truth to issues like this. But the truth is that as far as you disobey, I mean, if we don't want to obey court's judgment, then why do we have courts? Let's use self-help. But you see, there will be anarchy. The judiciary is there. They have, and we have to obey. The Constitution says we must obey them. No matter your feelings, your personal feeling about the judgment does not matter. But you can use your grievances and go upstairs. When I say upstairs, I mean if it is a federal court, go to the Court of Appeal. If you are not satisfied, go to the Supreme Court. Nobody is perfect. Some judges can make mistake. If you feel the judge has made mistake, go upstairs. In this particular,
can make mistakes.
Of course, that's why we have Court of Appeal.
Test the law.
That's why we have the Court of Appeal. That's why we have High Court. If the magistrate court makes mistake, you go to the High Court. If they refuse to see the law the way you have seen it and you feel you are correct, that's why you have a higher court. You understand me? So it does not be a litigant, somebody, a person, a party to a suit or a case. Why did you come to court? If it is in your favor and the other party disobeys, you will cry out. So you never can tell who when you come. But there are some cases that a lawyer ought to know that this case is a bad case. And my anger is that those who have been given the prestigious rank of SANs are the ones doing this thing. That ought to know more than those of us who are not SANs. You understand? But you see them. I saw them on TV now. On both sides, you are coming to defend the position that 4 members, well, I've not read the full judgment or ruling, but I have seen it online today, and I'm analyzing based on that, what I've read and what I've seen. You understand? But I am saying that while every lawyer have a right to decide and all that, professionally, it is even against our own ethics. When you know that something is wrong, you take the brief and you go to court to defend it. Because
I was going to say, you have said it could be a mistake on the part of the judge. But for lawyers who have said, don't blame us for taking frivolous cases to the court. We're testing the law.
No.
What's the implication of that on the judiciary?
No, you are wasting the time. That's why I want to again commend the current Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kekere. She planned that when I become the CJN, I would take this step. She didn't waste time. Immediately she became the CJN. She started taking steps. I was so impressed when I heard just now that an investigation is being carried out against judges that have been making various orders within this political imbroglio in Rivers State. I was so happy. And he has given a timeline within which to get a feedback, a report from the inquiry. Now, you don't test the law with frivolous cases. It's wrong. I'm waiting to see the CJN come out and get NBA to come out with punitive measures. That is why we have too many cases in the court. Go to the Court of Appeal, cases that are frivolous matters. They are in court. They take the time of the court. Matters that are, substantive, matters that are reasonable, that matter that the cause of actions are good, are not that many. You see, you don't say you want to test a law when you know that what you are coming to do is not defensible. The only thing we will say is that you want to make money, irrespective of whether the case is good or not. Even if the case is not good, you will tell your client that the case is good so that you can get paid and you go to court, because you can't. It's very rare to tell a lawyer to return fees whether the lawyer wins or he loses.
But you said the state government appealing this ruling. Is
Well,
there any legality to challenging
Justice Omotosho gave a judgment on this, and they filed an appeal, and the judgment was upheld at the Court of Appeal. So I am telling you, as a relatively senior lawyer who is in litigation, practical litigation, that if they go on appeal on this, it will fail. The appeal will fail.
Why do you think so?
Because if we have no doubt that there are certain facts have been established, we only have 4 active members in the House of Assembly in Rivers State. So there is no House of Assembly in Rivers State. There's no House of Assembly in Rivers State. Whatever they have done, I am telling you, is illegal. You know, we can make fair comments on judgment, and we can make comments when we are sure of what we are saying. I am not discouraging Governor Fubara or his lawyers, but I'm telling you that it is a case that will die on arrival. The judgment of Justice Abdul Malik, I've read part of it as published. I want to again commend her, because it takes a lot of courage to give that kind of judgment in view of the threading issues, the crisis situation we have in Rivers State, the pressure on both sides. I can imagine the pressure that judge must have been put through before delivering this landmark judgment.
You know, because Governor Fubara is not the only governor who has continued to disobey court order, I'd like us to speak to why Nigerian governors are this powerful, and most of their actions are equated to autocracy. Because if we go back to October, when the Court of Appeal ruled that the governor was wrong to have presented the budget to 4 members of the 32-man House of Assembly, he was mandated to represent that budget to the Martin Amewole-led House of Assembly, but he refused. Why are Nigerian governors this powerful?
Well, you know, they enjoy some immunity constitutionally. While they are there, you cannot take contempt proceedings against them personally. You cannot ask the court to arrest them personally. So they're enjoying that judicial immunity. Now, but they will go, their name in history of governance will be negative. That was when he was a governor.
Nigerians where we forget things?
Well, but at least we know that his immediate predecessor was also was good at disobeying judgment too, while he was the governor.
So would you say Governor Fubara learned from the best?
Yes, he learned it negatively. The fact that his predecessor was good at disobeying judgment does not justify him disobeying judgment. It's like somebody said he stole and he was not caught. That was why I went to steal. If you are caught, you are a thief. You become tried and convicted. So in this case, I think we should amend the Constitution such that even after leaving office, it might sound strange, but I mean, that would put governors make governors to be careful, because they are about the only persons that can disobey court order with impunity
and get away with it.
And when they are out of the office, you say that was, you know, an official act while in the office. No, we should stop calling disobedience to court order as official act. It's not official act. It's a personal act. It takes the governor as a person. He's the head of the administration of the state. It takes the governor as a person to either obey or disobey. And they do this with total disregard. Okay, now I want to see how Governor Fubara will arrange militants to force the federal agency, CBN, and the other agencies affected by the judgment of Justice Malik to send the allocation of funds to the state. Let's see how you do it. You see, that is why this judgment is very beautiful. When the other judgment were given, because they need to be executed in Rivers State, he was able to, disobey them, committed a lot of criminal offenses, and he's giving his political opponent edge over him. This man does not need to do anything. He will just be smiling and looking at Fubara.
All right.